All the evidence shows that Jesus was crucified, but none of the evidence shows that Jesus was killed while he was crucified or while he was on the cross. So there's no getting around the crucifixion of Jesus historically. All the Gospels agree that Jesus was crucified. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Josephus, Tacitus, all these early and first century documents say that Jesus was crucified. So, does this disprove the Quran chapter 4 verse 157? I would argue no, it doesn't, because the Quran chapter 4 verse 157 says they didn't kill him by the method of crucifixion. They didn't crucify him by crucifying him, meaning like killing him by the method of crucifixion. The Quran says it was made to appear to them, and that's up for interpretations. So we have to do history when we're trying to make sense of what the Quran's talking about. Jesus was crucified, sure, but that doesn't mean he died on the cross. How do we know this? Because according to the Gospel of Mark, Jesus was crucified in 9 in the morning, and he was taken down in 3 in the afternoon. That means Jesus was on the cross, according to the Gospel of Mark, the earliest Gospel, for 6 hours. So if Jesus is on the cross for 6 hours, you know, he's not gonna die, right? Because if we read the later gospel, the Gospel of John, Jesus' 2 crossmates were taken down alive. That means that, and then the Roman soldiers broke their legs. So that means surviving the crucifixion is virtually certain, according to the gospel writers, according to, you know, the Gospel of John, etc. So if we go back to the Gospel of Mark, which is earlier and more reliable, Jesus was on the cross for 6 hours. Death by crucifixion typically took days, not hours. And we know this because a 17th century philosopher and historian said that crucifixion victims could survive up to 9 days. So you can be on the cross for a whole week, and you know your survival is almost guaranteed. So Jesus was certainly alive through the whole crucifixion. He survived the crucifixion, because there's no way someone's going to die within 6 hours being on the cross. And further, if we read the Gospel of Mark chapter 15 verse 44, Pontius Pilate was surprised to hear Jesus had already died. That means Pilate knew from experience that in order to die you need to be on the cross for a few days, not hours. Jesus was on the cross for 6 hours, not 6 days. So that means Jesus surviving is certainly possible according to even natural means. But of course, we Christians and Muslims believe in the supernatural. So why can't God keep Jesus supernaturally alive? Any way you look at it, Jesus survived.